All right, we live,
We
we back
live.
in the man cave. It's a Friday night. We got a drink going.
You didn't even tell me
Oh,
anything. I would have got mine.
oh man,
Salud.
it's been a long week.
Damn, man.
There we. You sleeping, Carlos? You sleeping?
Nah,
Come
I
on.
mean,
Look,
I'm hitting the gym after this, so I can't really drink liquor
Right
right
here,
now.
bro. Got
excuses.
some caffeine liquor here. You know,
Nice.
wake my
Good.
ass up.
Damn, I got all these systems up.
But
All right,
my guy, I have a question, bro.
what's up?
We're live, right?
Yeah, we live.
Are you
So
sure
don't
we live?
stand up.
I don't see us live on Facebook, bro. Oh no,
Oh,
there we
oh,
go.
we're-
There we go.
we're
I
live,
see
bro.
it
We're
now.
live. Yeah, you have
We're
a
live.
slow
We're
internet
good.
connection. Remember that.
Yo, don't be talking shit about my
You
internet.
got that
I'm
McDonald's Wi-Fi, bro. I'm sorry that your AT&T is fucking up right now. But yo, we live, y'all. This is the man cave. We got
Welcome back.
some people watching, so let's give them a little bit of entertainment. Know what I mean,
What are we talking about today?
we're coming back with some landlord horror stories. All right, we got some
part two.
part two. Part two with popular demand. They want to hear the struggle. They want to see us talking about how much we struggle. They want to see us sweat, bro. We sweating through these fucking emotions right now. All right, so we actually got a video from yours truly. We're gonna check it out, and give us we're gonna give y'all some thoughts on this.
Lives in a van with his dog.
Wally.
But get this, he is homeless and a homeowner, all at the same time.
It's something I can't fully wrap my head around.
It's more like head banging for Jason. See, here's his Rainier Valley home, but the tenant in it is way behind on his rent. So Jason is making mortgage payments and paying for flight school. He's also owed 5 months' rent,
God
a total
damn.
of some $29,000, not including utilities.
I do come here often, though. I do come here just to look at my house and
Jesus
miss
Christ.
it and wish I could be in it.
Making matters worse, the renter offered Jason's downstairs unit on Airbnb for $434 a night.
He's, at the very least, he's generating $2,000 a month.
Holy
and it's
shit.
more than likely he's generating closer to 3 or possibly even 4, depending on the month.
And
My God,
even
thank
though
you.
he didn't own the home, the city gave the renter a short-term rental license.
So not only is he not paying me, but he's generating an income through the basement Airbnb unit.
Jesus.
And meanwhile, I'm having to pay the utilities for that unit.
Now he's waiting until
All right, let's do a play by play. Let's go play by play real quick. This is fucking ridiculous. This is fucking trash. All right, you got a tenant moving in, and now you're camped outside in your fucking van, just watching this dude just make money off of your rental. It's just
And the
disrespectful.
sad part is
And you're paying the utilities.
but the disrespectful part of it, besides, the whole tenant moving in thing, that's crazy on its own. But the city gives you an actual permit to lease out this property for you to make money on.
For
That's
short-term
crazy.
rentals.
That's crazy. The city's like, you know what? You've been a good boy. You got this. Here you go. Go make money. Meanwhile, the actual owner is sitting outside in the van. That's crazy, bro.
So like I didn't get that part. So the tenant who's not paying rent went to the city and was like, "Hey, yo, I want to sublet this
Yeah, so
fucking
what
rental
happens
unit."
is, in some places, in some counties or states, you need a license to be able to do an Airbnb
Correct.
for short-term
Oh.
rentals.
Yeah.
So
It
he
depends on the
went
area.
and got a license to do short-term rentals from the city.
Mind you, though, I give kudos to him because he at least wanted to do it the legit way. I would have just started renting this thing out. Like he at least went to the city and got the permit that he needed in order to, make it
Do it
work
legally.
the legal way. Yeah.
Even
But
though
he's
not paying rent.
playing chess though, because he's like,
Yeah.
"All right, I don't know how long this is gonna last, so I need the quick turnaround on these rentals. I can't have a long term rental because maybe that'll overcomplicate things. Know what I mean?" And at least if he does the short-term rentals, he's getting paid out every couple of days. You know, it's not like the traditional rental where you got to wait, you know, the end of the month. So as far as the tenant is concerned, he's playing the game. I mean,
But would it make sense if I was a landlord, right, and it happened to me? Wouldn't it make sense for me to just go Airbnb, rent it out, and then go back into my property? Because I'm pretty sure this guy just kind of squatted in the property, so you can kind of do the same.
It
and
doesn't
squat
say
back to
if
your
he
own
squatted
property.
or not. It's a different So it doesn't say that he.
At this
was
point, I don't even
rented.
think it matters. I think it matters as you
No, it actually
at least
does,
getting
because let's
into the
say
property.
in the beginning he had a rental agreement and he stopped paying rent.
Mm.
He has legal ownership of the property until you do the proper eviction process.
Yeah, that's the thing. That
So
sucks,
by the
man.
landlord renting the place and squatting, he can probably squat on the Airbnb, and
Yeah.
the tenant will have to evict him
Exactly.
out of the
Imagine imagine getting evicted out of your own property, bro.
that's
Like, it doesn't get much worse than that. Not only that you're not
But
even in there,
it
but
might
then
be
once you
harder
get
for
in
the
there,
Airbnb
you have to
callers.
get evicted. Say it again.
It might be harder for the Airbnb because this guy, all right, for example, on the tenant rented to the landlord, the only way the landlord can get him out is by doing the whole eviction process if he was a proper tenant, not a squatter. If the landlord goes into the Airbnb, he would have to be there for there's a specific amount of days. I think you have to be. I'm not sure what the day amount is, but a specific amount of days before you would have to do an eviction process. So let's say the landlord rests Airbnb. Let's say this guy has like a 2-day maximum. The landlord goes in, lives in there for 2 days, and then let's say he stays there for 4. The tenant doesn't have to do the eviction process to get him out. The tenant can just call the police for trespassing. There's
but
a
can you
certain amount of
trespass?
days. Yeah, there's a certain amount of days you have to squat before you have to actually do the proper eviction process.
What? I mean, I guess it depends on the district, right? Maybe
Yeah.
like
Other
15,
than
30 days.
that, if you're there for 4 days, you just call the police and say, "Hey, bro, I have a trespasser." And
I
the
feel
police
like
will walk them out.
in Massachusetts, it's probably like 2 minutes. If you squat for 2 minutes, you're good. You are good because
You just walk in.
Massachusetts.
You
just
walk
walk
in, you
in.
sit on the sofa. I'm
You just-
living here now.
I like this. I'm about to just chill, bro. You can't do shit, bro. It's crazy.
Bro,
But
that's
I
some
mean, what?
shit, bro.
But what? I mean, Carlos, Bello, what
Yeah.
would you do? Like, what's the first clue? Like, what is the first thing you do? This dude just stops paying rent. What are you doing?
Mean, I've dealt with people stop paying rent. I mean, you really can't do much about that. It is what it is. But the minute I find out now you're renting my property at Airbnb, and I know you're getting paid. Like, you're literally getting paid. I'm gonna go ahead and rent out my own Airbnb. See what happens. I'm gonna go on the listing. I'm gonna create an Airbnb, go on the listing, and rent this place out.
So you're gonna pay him. You're gonna pay him to go into your house.
You can't rent it out yourself. You can't. Remember the pen. All right.
We all have lose, man.
Before we answer
That's
this
already
question,
a bad plan.
No, before we answer this question, we first have to find out how you want to state the question. Is this the person that's a tenant that stopped paying or a squatter? Because it really depends on how he got into the unit first.
The way it does legally, but the way I see a squatter,
that's what I'm saying. Legally,
it's the same shit to me. Literally,
it doesn't matter. You still have to follow the law.
I know.
So if they're regular tenants,
I know what you're saying. It's hard to explain.
Carlos is gonna rent out his own
fucking
apartment.
Listen, I think I would lose it.
Here you go. Here's $1,200.
Listen. If you're telling me that as a landlord, I'm gonna be homeless and sleep in a van, hell fucking no. I don't give a fuck what rule I break. I'm renting out the Airbnb or I'm getting in there somehow and I'm squatting in my own property. You're gonna have to take somebody else to call me out.
Or you're going to jail. Because like I said,
guess what?
If you go in and squat.
If I go to jail, I get shelter and food. Right now, I'm in a van, not getting shit. What do you mean?
Yeah.
There's nothing to lose, bro. At this point, you losing your home regardless. Like, what are you gonna do? At this point, I'd rather just get shelter and at least get some food out of it. But honestly, I'm gonna try my best. It's one thing if I have an investment property and the tenant stops paying rent. If it's my primary residence, bro, we got a problem. Because he has nowhere to live, so that has to be his primary residence. Is what I'm saying.
You live it in the van, my boy. Sorry,
Nah,
dude.
man.
Until you do the 6 months process, depending on what
Nah,
state
way.
you are. You're Massachusetts. You're looking at like 3 to 6 months, bro. You're gonna have to eat it, bro. I'm sorry.
No, it's not. There's nothing to eat in the van. There's nothing to eat in the van, bro. It's not happening.
All right,
So yeah, I found that story pretty crazy, man. And the fact that I guess, like I said, the craziest thing of an entire story is basically that the city actually had the audacity to just give him a fucking rental permit.
Short-term rental.
Here you
That
go.
is hilarious.
Boom.
So this guy breaks the law. I'm gonna start paying rent, right? But let me get this license in correct, because I don't want to fuck with the city. You know, I'll fuck with this private landlord.
But it makes you think, like, there's no type of verification or nothing on, hey, do you own this property? Like, honestly, what the hell's going on in that fucking state, man?
No, because in some there's Airbnb arbitrage.
No, but it's not Airbnb though. It's not Airbnb. The state is responsible for giving out the permit. So the state is responsible for
short-term licensing.
Correct. It's not Airbnb's fault. It's the state for giving the permit.
In Florida, you technically in Florida, you're supposed to get a hotel license to do Airbnb. Technically.
In Florida.
Technically.
Technically, yes. Technically, you're supposed to get a hotel license to do an Airbnb.
Technically.
Okay, then I had an Airbnb in Florida in Kissimmee, and I had to get a hotel license. When I got a property management, we got a hotel license. We did everything legit. You're supposed to get a hotel license, which designate your property as a hotel.
Really? I did not know that. I thought you could just do that shit willy-nilly.
Yeah, it's like Uber drivers. You technically, if you're Uber driver, are supposed to get those specific plates for passengers. I forgot what they're called.
Oh, livery
plates, like in Mass.
Yeah.
You're supposed to get that in the specific insurance for Uber. Technically. People don't do that shit, bro.
I guess you're right.
Now, is it optional or required?
I think it's to protect you, right?
I found this just the other day. The insurance company, same thing with a house, the same thing with a car. If you do Uber in a car and you have an accident, the insurance company may not cover you because you didn't have the proper insurance coverage for being a taxi. Same thing with Airbnb in a house. Your insurance may not cover you because you didn't have your house set up as a short-term rental with the proper licensing.
Gotcha.
Remember, insurance companies do not want to pay.
Yeah, of course.
So they're going to look for every excuse in a book not to pay.
That makes sense.
I want
a situation, Jose, because let's just say it's not an investment property. Let's say it's your primary residence, and you get a squatter in there, and now he's actually renting this shit on Airbnb. You can't even get back in.
Let me change it, Jose. Let's say he was renting that room to the guy, and he kicks you out, and he moves in and does that.
How did he kick me? How are you kicking me out?
Locks.
He changed the locks.
At that point, you're illegally.
That's illegal.
Yeah,
you can't change the locks.
At that point, I have every right to go back in there any way possible.
Yeah, that's illegal.
Also, he's a tenant, then he stops paying.
Look at the question change. Look at the question change when the answers didn't line up with what he wanted.
Because the problem is, like he said, is illegal, so they can just call the police and get the guy out. Let's say he was a tenant and he stops paying rent, and then since he was your tenant and where you living out before, you can't afford anymore, and you had to leave, and now you live in a van.
I gotta tell you, bro,
in front of your house.
Question is super complicated to the one that I just asked him. Super complex, bro.
Yeah, you kind of lost me there. So okay. I am the landlord. I own this house. You're saying that it's my primary resident, but for whatever reason, I rented it out. I rented it for what, like a couple of weeks, a couple of months, because I was going.
Scenario doesn't make any sense.
Okay, I was going out
for long term, and you have another place to live, and now you can't afford another place, and now this dude lives in your house.
Yeah. I'm gonna be honest. I think I might do what Carlos was suggesting, and I'm renting out like a weekend under someone else's name, right? I'm jumping into the place, and essentially I'm gonna squat that bitch out, bro.
Exactly.
And
it doesn't sound too bad, right?
It doesn't sound too bad. I'll probably, I probably create a new lease, right? There's loopholes. Isn't because if there was like a short-term rental for this dude and he just decided to take over, once his lease is up, right? Maybe you could strategically get someone in there after the lease is up, create a new lease, and now it's theirs.
But short-term rentals don't have leases.
But okay, fine. The short-term rental expires, right? And then you get someone in there. Then you sign a long-term lease with that person who's in the apartment. And now, how is this squatter, this guy, gonna kick out the actual tenant, the long-term tenant? In fact, I'm finding a single baby mama with 6 kids, bro. I want to see him.
They can't kick them out.
This is the perfect scenario for a single mom with 6 kids to come in and save the day, bro. I want to see the cops. I want to see the state try to evict this woman. Now, I mean, this ain't no. That's the most powerful.
But
she
I will
has
say
the
this.
Thanos glove, bro.
But I will say this though: if you get it into the apartment, I mean, you still need a place to live though. What are you gonna do? You have to evict her.
It's like
got through one.
This is the worst of two evils. Now obviously I'd find a single baby mama that I know somewhere around the way. You know, I'll put a flyer looking for single baby mamas. You know, on Craigslist.
But not for now, man. But that story is just crazy, and the fact that
the way I'll do it in my situation, bro,
it takes so long to get things going, and meanwhile, this guy's literally paying for school for playing what it's called, air flight school. Also paying the mortgage, and you live in a van, bro. Like imagine if you had kids. Imagine if he had kids.
I would personally, bro, follow the legal way of doing it, bro. Just do the eviction process.
Man, this dude's about to lay over. Just take it. Come on, bro.
The problem is you have
no
more
lube.
to lose.
No lube.
You have
no lube. Straight raw.
Yeah, because you have more to lose.
He's like, yeah,
you have nothing to lose.
Let me explain.
What do you mean?
Yes, you do.
Oh my
All right.
God.
You do the illegal way and you go to jail.
I get free.
You're not working. You're not even studying. Who's paying the mortgage? The bank forecloses on you. The bank forecloses on you and takes the property. What's worse?
What's worse than what? Then live in your van.
The bank forecloses on you and takes the property, or you handle the 6 months eviction process and get the person out legally.
But this guy wasn't working.
Worse,
he was going to school. He was going to school.
I'm saying in both your scenario, you guys can likely go to jail. In my scenario, I'm saying I'll do the legal process because it's better off me not going to jail because probably in 6 months, I'll get the person out. Versus going to jail and losing the property.
I think
you're better man than me, man.
This is when the business side of owning
you have to get the business side
comes in, right? Because you have to understand things. The market ebbs and flows, right? Every business will have a good year. Every business will have a bad year. And apparently this dude is having a very bad year, right? But it's a part of the business. There's no guaranteed profit on any sort of business.
No, see, but this is the issue that I
have.
Have
to remove the emotion.
You have to have like 6 months of like coverage.
I get it. And I'm okay with that happening on an investment property. But when they take over your primary home,
but they didn't take over his primary residence, Carlos. The only way that person is in there is because he rented it out. It's not his primary residence anymore. It is an investment property.
No, we're assuming because otherwise he would just go back to where he was living.
How did the guy get in?
If
it's his primary residence?
Why is he living in the van?
Maybe he's taking it out.
Scenario. All right, let me explain.
What do you mean?
Can I explain? Let me explain.
You're assuming.
You used to do this, Carlos.
I never lived in a van.
You would. No.
Let's run the video back. Let's run the video back real quick.
Because let me say some shit real quick.
Go ahead.
Carlos used to rent out his properties and live in a rental.
Yeah,
it could have been the same scenario. This person was living in his property that was an investment property, and he stopped paying his rent. When he stopped paying his rent, this guy had to pay the mortgage out of pocket, couldn't afford to pay his own rental where he was living at. So he moved into the van.
I don't think he wanted to move into the van.
He didn't want to move to the van, bro. He couldn't afford to pay his rent and the mortgage. Carlos,
his mortgage is the rent. His mortgage is the rent.
Carlos, when you lived in Avalon.
Yes, but his mortgage is the rent.
Carlos,
you don't have to pay.
Carlos.
Listen, you don't have to pay mortgage and rent, bro. The mortgage is your rent.
Carlos, when you lived in Avalon,
Listen, bro.
were you
Oh my
paying a
God,
rent?
This guy. The
No,
what?
Jose understands. You're the one that's lost. Carlos, when you was living in Avalon, were you paying rent?
Yes, because I was living somewhere else.
Okay. Your
Yeah.
I was doing the
investment
same
properties,
thing, yeah.
were they paying you rent in your investment properties?
Yeah. The what?
Yeah.
Okay, let's say your investment property stopped paying you rent and you had to pay the mortgage out of pocket. Can you
Yes.
afford to pay the mortgage out of pocket and the rent at the same time?
Probably.
You're
Yeah.
It'd be
moving into
tight.
that
It'd be
van.
tight.
It'd be
It'd
tight.
be
but
You
tight.
move it into the van, my boy.
I'm
I
not
think,
moving.
Move it
I think
into
he's
the
moving.
van.
He's moving into the van because he doesn't have the income to support the mortgage and the rent. I think Carlos, like I was in the same boat as Carlos. I rented out my property and I moved back into the city. I was renting out an apartment, but I knew if the worst case scenario could ever hit me, I'd be able. It'd be tight though. It'd be
Correct.
tight.
Yeah.
I'm
But
paying
not
the
everyone
mortgage.
has that same situation.
Yeah,
And
apparently.
that was his mistake right there. That was his
I
mistake
Shit
right there.
happens.
I wanna run the video one more time because I feel like maybe we missed some information.
A lot of
Let's run it
assumptions,
back.
you know.
Let's run it back. I just want to check it out one more time. All right.
He is homeless and a homeowner, all
Okay.
at the same time.
It's something I can't fully wrap my head around.
It's more like head banging for Jason. See, here's his Rainier Valley home, but
Right.
the tenant in it is way behind on his rent.
How?
So Jason is making mortgage payments and paying for flight school. He's also owed 5 months' rent, a total of some $29,000, not
29.
including utilities.
I do come here often, though. I do come here just to look at my house and miss it and wish I could be in it.
Making matters worse, the renter offered Jason's
Pause it right there.
downstairs
Pause it right
unit
there.
on
Pause it right there.
Airbnb.
Pause it right there. The way he
doesn't
says,
explain.
I wish I could be there. I come to look at it. I miss it. I wish I could be in it. Makes me think that was his primary residence for some weird
It
reason.
wasn't, though. He rented it out. The guy owes him 5 months rent. It wasn't his primary rent. Probably at one point it was. and he moved out. I had a
Let's finish the
condominium.
video. Let's finish the video real quick. I want to see what.
For $434 a night.
Right, that's
He's-
the lower.
At the very least, he's generating $2,000 a month. And it's
Yeah.
more than likely he's generating closer to 3 or possibly even 4, depending on the month.
And even though he didn't own the home, the city gave the renter a short-term rental license.
Right.
So not only is he not paying me, but he's generating an income
Right.
through the basement Airbnb unit.
Mm-hmm.
And meanwhile, I'm having to pay the utilities for that unit.
Now he's waiting until late October for an eviction hearing.
The current process for an eviction hearing in King County to go from the start to the very end is about 12 months in total.
God damn!
Yeah, you gotta just say
God!
6 months, right? 6 months, right?
Damn!
It's
You
around
wild.
6 months, bro.
It's 12
Oh my
months. bro.
god!
It's 12.
Bro,
It's a year.
I evicted 5 people in 6 months.
Different
You
county.
can do it in 6
He
months.
specifically
But
said
damn.
in the
Oh
county that
my-
he's in, 12 months.
Yo,
That's not a
county.
good note.
But
Yes,
what
that's
I
a good
said
one.
was before, like I said, he had a tenant. It
God
looked like he
damn.
was living somewhere else. Couldn't
Listen, bro.
afford to pay
Listen, bro,
when he
I'm
lived
renting
somewhere
it.
else and
I'm
had to
renting it.
move into a fucking van.
Listen, I'm renting it. That's
There
it.
you
I'm
go.
renting it. I'm
Yo,
renting
he's-
it. No, because apparently he's renting out the basement. That's another unit per se, right? I'll rent out the basement and I'll stay right there. I'll just squat in the basement of my own house while I go through the
But the
eviction.
problem
process.
is you can't squat because the guy is fucking smart. He's doing short-term rentals. He can kick you out for trespassing.
But that's not his property. This is what
It
this is
doesn't
where again.
matter.
This
He
is where
had
again,
a legitimate license to do short-term rentals.
and it goes back on the state for allowing him to do that.
Yeah, but he has it. You
That's
can't do
crazy.
anything about
So
it, Carlos.
The state basically fucked him over, yo.
Pretty
It wasn't
state-
even Airbnb.
the state technically didn't really fuck him over. I mean,
What you mean?
obviously the tenant fucked him over, and then
Yeah,
the
but-
state, the state is
But the
just
fact-
an ignorant piece of shit that just
The
you
state's
know.
not ignorant. Let's say I make a lease with a tenant and I allow the tenant in the lease to sublease. He can go and do an Airbnb because I allowed him my
Well, they-
lease to do
you're
subleasing.
fucking up.
If it's not worded in your lease,
we're also assuming that it's not worded in the lease, and we're also assuming that he did have permission to sublease that unit. We don't know.
or
that.
he didn't word it in his lease, or there's not a lease existing, and make the tenant at will. And when no lease existing, the guy got permission to sublease because there's no legal document to show that what are the rules of renting it.
Man, he's just fucked in all directions, bro.
Remember,
He's
when
fucking
you're a
all
landlord and you rent a
12
property,
months, bro.
if you're a
go
landlord, you
ahead,
rent a
6
property,
months, go
you
ahead.
want to put every single detail into that lease because the lease is what gives you the power.
And
Yes.
he was saying that the dude owes him like 28,
months.
29 grand in 5 months. That's I calculated. That's almost $6,000 a month. How much are you fucking charging?
He's probably adding late
How
fees
much
and
are you
shit like
charging
that.
him? Yeah, but
probably
even
adding
late
late
fees-
fees.
How much
utilities.
late fees can you possibly add,
And
for
utilities.
real?
bro?
How much you 6 grand in
Look at this
utility?
shit.
Wait,
Look at this
what are you
shit.
fucking running
This
a
guy's
club,
out here
bro?
inflating
The
numbers,
guy,
yo.
the guy, this is the problem. The guy didn't have the proper information when rented. It's a
You're
single
assuming.
family
You're
house,
assuming.
guys.
You're assuming.
Bro, it's just okay, Carl. It's a single family house. It's not a multifamily. First thing,
Exactly.
it's not a
So
multifamily.
how is it
But wait,
$6,000 a
why?
month, bro?
Wait,
How?
why are you
6.
paying? Can I say something? Why are you paying the utilities if it's a single family house? Pass
No,
that
yeah,
shit to the tenant.
the
Let the
tenant should be
tenant
paying
pay
that,
all
correct.
the utilities.
Okay.
Yeah.
The tenant
So in
even
Rhode
pays the
Island-
fucking water bill.
But even with the utilities, with the late fees and all that, it's still not 6 grand.
That's
There's-
ridiculous.
For that little
In Rhode
shit,
Island-
he's
for that little shit,
exaggerating.
no way.
He's
I mean,
exaggerating.
6 grand. That's
Okay.
crazy.
But he's exaggerating.
because-
But what I'm trying to say is, bro, why are you paying the tenant's utility?
Well, at
What
this
is
point-
wrong
That's
with
what
you?
you.
It's a single.
That's what you getting wrapped up for. Why are you paying this nigga?
It's the-
This nigga's living in
it's
the
a
house for
single
free. What the
family.
fuck? Who cares about the
Jose,
utility?
this is the guy that thinks everything takes 6 months.
Yo, bro, 12
Because
months
I've
to
done
get
it.
So
In
much.
to
mass.
get raw dog in the ass,
I've
bro.
done it in mass. All right, guys.
This is not
Which is
mass,
the
and
worst
I
state to
told you.
rent.
I specifically, you heard it from the attorney, bro. He says it takes a minimum of 12 months.
It could
Yeah,
take
that's-
up
that's-
to 12 months. That's the
Oh,
word he
no,
used. It can take
it
up
could take
to
up to
12
5
months.
years.
That's not worse than Massachusetts, though. That's ridiculous. That's you basically homeless. You going homeless after
Well, he
that.
is homeless. He's in the van.
Yeah. There we go. That dude is homeless, bro. This dude, that's wild. That's wild. He's flying airplanes. I bet you he'd be like, I see my house from here. That motherfucker. It's crazy.
But it's just the way he said it is sad. He's like, I come here once in a while to just kind of look at it. You know,
And,
wish I was
and
there.
he's in a chair. He just sits out there, look at his house.
So it's like, does he see like the tenant like exit the property every now and then?
But
Like,
bro,
that's
Carlos,
crazy.
Carlos, how many people did we meet during COVID and when we were investing in that area where they lost their actual property because people stopped paying during COVID?
Quite a few.
Yeah.
Yeah, quite a few.
It sucks.
This is
People
why I
think-
would not. This is why I would do what I need to do and get in the house, bro.
See,
I'm not
that's
moving.
the
into
problem.
van.
You can't.
Man,
You
might
say
get
that
into
shit.
some
I'm not moving into
trouble.
a van, bro. Nah, yeah.
You gotta get into trouble. Carl's gonna
Hey,
be
hey.
that guy at the middle of the night, turn off the main circuit line,
I gotta do what I gotta do, yo. But again, it hits home
disconnect
when
his cable.
You know, if I'm homeless and I got an investment property, guess what? That now becomes my primary residence. And now if I can't get in, now we're gonna have an issue.
Yeah,
Yeah.
bro, but it that's what happens to it. It's unfortunate. Everyone thinks, all right, this guy renting a property, this guy has millions. It doesn't matter if I start paying rent. What
Now,
happens is, bro,
like as landlords, have you guys ever tried to recover back rent from
Yeah,
tenants?
good luck.
no,
Good luck.
I don't
Yeah,
even try.
Good luck. It's not
Yeah,
even worth
I don't
it.
even
Yeah.
try.
Anyone watching this, if you think
I write it off.
you ever gonna see that fucking money, you are
It's a write-off.
wildin', bro.
Write-off. Let Uncle Sam give you some tax deductions.
Yeah, pretty much.
a write-off.
Tax deduction. That's the best. That's the best that the
That's the
government
best
can
you're
offer.
getting, bro.
And it's not even that great.
I tried. I actually tried. I tried with one rental unit, the one that I was talking about last week. I tried, but it was too much work. I mean, it was ridiculous amount of work.
You have to sue them.
You
They're
got to sue
suing
them
you,
in small
technically.
claims court. You got to take them to small claims court. And then what is it? You can you can get the money from their paychecks. What is it called?
It's a portion.
What?
It's a
Abortion.
A portion.
You're-
A portion.
Abortion, like 20.
You're
25.
basically acting like a like you're putting like a contractor's lien, but on a person. So you
It's
basically
more like a
it's like a lien.
lien. Whenever you get the collections, you
Yeah,
become a
Yeah, like
collection person.
it's like collections.
you
But
can
I
you
mean that
can
goes with the
sell it.
highway. Huh?
You can do it, but
You
this is the
could,
problem. You can do it, but this is the problem when you do it. If you're a personal landlord, you're managing a few properties, yeah, you have the time to do it, go ahead and do it. But once you pass 10 units, you're not doing that shit because you don't have the time to go to
Yeah.
small claim court. You don't
You ain't
have
got time.
most people who owns 5 to 10 units still have a regular job. They're not
Yep.
doing that shit full time. So
Yeah, man.
you're gonna really take time off of work
Nope.
to get like $30 a month?
That's like the hardest thing. Trying to get that money back. You just don't even try to get that money back. And I know it's like there are probably tenants like watching this, like, oh, I didn't even know that shit, and they might abuse the system. And it is what it is. But at the same, for landlords, you just got to eat that.
Yeah,
The eviction, having an eviction under your name is a big
red
it
flag.
sucks. It sucks.
You're not getting a unit.
I remember when I went to eviction court, and I was just waiting outside, and then there was this one lady. She was going up to the front desk. She was trying to get this eviction that she had from 10 years ago. I think she was probably like 20 or some shit. She was like, "Oh, it's been on my name for 20 years. I can't get an apartment because of
That's
this."
why I would do it. That's why I would do it.
And the lady, the county clerk or whatever it is, she was like, "No, that stays with you for life."
Yeah,
For life. You need.
So I would do it for that reason, not so much to get the money back, but I would do it. I would do it to pretty much screw them over. Yeah, but
I'll just do it for the eviction. I won't sue them for the back rent. It's just not worth it. It's not worth the time and effort.
No. But again, there's a difference between you can have an eviction and still get a property elsewhere, right? That's fine.
Yeah.
When you have a lien, you have to pay that off.
Yeah.
That doesn't go away. Period. It's like getting a contractor's lien. If a contractor goes to your house, starts doing work, and then you fire them halfway through, and they already did the work, and you don't pay them, they can put a lien on your house, and you can't even sell the house.
They can garnish. They can garnish your wages. They can garnish your wages.
Exactly.
That's what I was trying to do with my last tenant.
Right.
I was trying to garnish wages, and the fucking hoops and loops and all this shit you got to do.
It's not worth it.
Garnish. It's not worth it. It's just like
again.
Again,
I wouldn't. It was worth it to me, depending on how much I despise this person.
How much?
Let me give you an example.
Spending on attorney?
Hold on. Let me give you an example. It's not so much for the monetary value. It's more for being petty. Because if I really dislike this, if this person puts me through hell, correct. If this person puts me through hell, I would go above and beyond to do whatever I can on my side to make sure that the next person doesn't go through this shit and he's fucked for life.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying.
On your high point unit counts, you're above 30 units. Is it really worth it when you have 30 fucking tenants?
Again, it comes down to it depends on what you've been through with that tenant and how personal it is. If it's a regular tenant that doesn't pay rent, no, I wouldn't do that. But if it's a tenant that makes your life a living hell, yeah. I would. Because I'm petty as shit like that. I would 100% do that.
There's some tenants, and I wouldn't recommend this. I'm not recommend. I'm just telling you what I've seen. I've seen landlords who collect information from tenants during the screening period, which includes anything from social security numbers for background checks, licenses, passports, right? They save that stuff. We save that shit, bro.
You can hit their credit score. You can hit their credit score.
We save that stuff. Don't get it twisted. We could sell that on the black market. Next thing you know, I'm just saying, I wouldn't do it.
I'm saying, I'm gonna hit your credit score for non-payment. This guy fucking goes, you know what? I'm gonna show you shit to Russian hackers.
No, bro, I don't know. I might, someone might
16-year-old Russian hackers.
I know everybody know a Mexican that needs an ID, bro. Needs a social security number to work. So don't get it twisted. We get if you do the proper screening, you get enough information.
Both for these guys over here, bro.
I'm just saying, I would never do this. I would never do this.
The one all the way to the left, the first one, he's fucking tearing down that rule, and the one next to me, he just breaks the rules Just for the
Not even
gig.
that, man. It's just again, it all comes down to the type of relationship that you have with the tenant and how much this tenant has put you through. I mean, if this tenant is literally the tenant from hell, yeah, I'm gonna go and do whatever I can to return the favor. If it's a regular tenant that going through eviction, no, I wouldn't do that. It's not worth the time.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of all my tenants. All my tenants are women with kids. No, I'm joking. What?
Single baby moms?
How many single baby mamas? How many single baby? I got 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, I got like 5 single baby
all
mamas.
his tenants are single baby mama guys.
Yeah, man, and they love me. They love me. They be like, "Oh, the landlord's here. Oh my god,
Shit, I had
The
tenants
Lord of
from
the
fucking-
Land.
they love
Lord
me.
of the land."
I had tenants from hell. I had one tenant, bro. Carlos knows this story. When I was living in Mattapan and Murder Pan, one of my tenants moved in with one guy, and when I evicted her, she was dating a hoodlum from the hood, like gangster.
Wait.
And the guy wanted to shoot me at one point. I remember that Carlos showed up when it was happening.
He wanted to shoot you.
Yeah.
So wait, you rented it out to a chick. She broke up with her man and got with the new dude.
Yep.
And then the new dude didn't like you.
No, blue dude was just the hoodlum, bro. Because I was trying to get them out.
You were
They
trying
weren't
to get
paying. They weren't paying the rent.
Yeah, I mean,
And I was in mass. There was no gun. I wasn't carrying at the time.
you wasn't carrying at the time. I mean, sometimes it's not even worth it. It's
Florida it is.
I mean, luckily I've never had to like fight any of my tenants or anything like that. Cause like homeboy in the van, like that's crazy, bro. There's a point where you kind of break into the house and you just beat the shit out of somebody.
That's what I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you. I have a business side, but I also have a street side, and that street side will kick in real quick if that's my primary residence.
See this one here?
Yeah.
I have to control this one's emotional side, like Carlos.
Oh man.
I am business first, but the minute the business shit don't play it, and now you take it to a personal level, that's a completely different topic that I want to get into.
I'm like the voice of reason, like Carlos, bro. Calm down, bro. It's not worth it,
business
dude.
property, it is what it is, but personal residence, man, that's sacred, yo.
But dude, that sucks. You imagine living in a fucking van, dude?
It's nothing wrong with living in a van. It's just not if that's not what you want to
owning
do.
a property that somebody's not paying you. You live in a van because of that. I'm not saying because there's people do it all the time and they go cross country because they retire. I'm just saying, bro, that you live in a van because the tenant stops paying rent. So you're technically homeless, and this guy is making, and on top of not that he's not paying rent, this motherfucker's making money off your property.
And he's not making $2,000. He's raking like $4,000, bro. Like easy $4,000.
Bacon.
Yeah.
Dude, there's a story in Holbrook during COVID where the town administrator, which is the mayor, they don't have a mayor, they have a town administrator. He stopped paying rent in the single family he was living at. The lady eventually lost her house. She had a list on the market for like $140,000, a single family house in Holbrook, where they sell for $300 to $400 at the time. The guy stopped paying rent for like 7 months because of COVID, the town administrator, and he moved into a brand new construction house. And the lady ended up losing her house. I think it sold for like $170,000.
$170,000.
Yeah. And it was worth, like if you fixed it up, $380,000 easily. For like $10,000 worth of work. $380,000 because I seen the property.
Well, I actually got another video because I was peeping this real quick. It's a similar situation. It's kind of similar. Peep this.
I listed his multi-million-dollar home on Airbnb. This lady came to him and said, I want to rent here for like 6 months. He said, perfect. Well, guess what? She moved in, didn't pay. He tries to evict her. And she says, no, you can't evict me because this is not permitted. You didn't get a certificate of occupancy. And technically, the lease I have is invalid. And she hires a lawyer. And sure enough, he could not evict her. And this lady became like a micro-celebrity. And she had paparazzi outside of her house and they would follow her. They just invaded her privacy. And then she asked for $100,000 to leave. He said no. That got even more attention, and eventually she moved.
That's crazy.
I've seen that story.
Right there.
It was like a sub addition to the house. It was like this white mansion in was it Beverly Hills?
Let's
It
be
doesn't
real
look
though.
very real.
He could eat that. He could eat that for for a while.
Yeah.
If you got a mansion like that,
So question where she states that he didn't get a certificate of occupancy. I'm assuming
That's
that's just I'm assuming that's just the actual permit. Because the certificate of
Right.
occupancy, you get that before you close in the house. That's
Yeah,
two
but
different
the
things.
Right.
certificate of occupancy, for example, that guy's house, I remember seeing the story. The guy's house is a single family house, and he made an addition like an in-laws unit.
Oh, he made the
But
addition.
in-laws
Okay, yeah.
unit
Yeah, yeah,
can't
yeah, yeah.
legally be rented.
No,
They're
yeah, yeah.
in-laws unit.
No, yeah. If he made that, yes, correct.
so
It
he
was an
fucked
in-laws
up.
unit. Part
He
of
fucked
property.
up himself. Yeah.
In-laws unit technically cannot be rented by themselves, so he subleased the in-laws unit, and she found out it was an illegal rental unit, not a legal unit to live in. It's a legal rental unit.
Correct. Same thing with a basement. You can rent out your basement as long
Same
as you
thing
have a
with a
certificate of occupancy. Yeah, that's
I
how it
think
works.
it, but I feel like it's riskier to rent out a fucking like you bought a mansion and you're renting it out.
But he wasn't renting out the mansion; he was renting a portion. He was living on the other side. I seen the story.
but even why?
The other
Why?
one, there's another one in LA, a $10 million house that I was seeing. They rented it out. These guys, no, they squatted. They got in and squatted it. They were there long enough to prove that they have now legal residency.
How
So the
long
guy
is
has
long
the
enough?
eviction process. And these guys are throwing parties like every other day in this.
Yeah, but
$10
how long
million
is long
mansion.
enough though?
Yeah, for real.
It all depends on the town laws. So in Mass, I think it's 30 days. If you're able to squat at a place for 30 days while the owner noticing, you can have legal occupancy.
If someone is, you
Yeah.
know what, he deserves it. Because if you don't know if someone is at your house for 30 days, hell no,
Every
that's
county
your
is
fault.
different, Carlos. That county can be a week. Who knows?
No ways a week. Bro.
Yeah, but you have I got the ring system, the ring alarm system. I got cameras all over my properties. Like I know everything that happens. There's no way that you're gonna have. I don't know when you get to a certain
Jose,
level,
really?
you
How
need
old
to
are you,
monitor
Jose?
that shit, huh?
How old are you, Jose?
How old am I?
You're in your mid-30s, bro. A
35.
60-year-old dude that a 60-year-old dude
I
that
had
owns
to
a $10
think
million
about that for a
house.
second. I was like, how old am I? I'm like, damn,
A
am I
60-year-old
35 or
dude, right?
36?
One of these fucking baby boomers, bro. They don't have that technology, bro. They're not watching every single minute of their house, dude.
That's no excuse, bro.
That's
Don't
not-
It's not an excuse.
Don't
I'm not giving the guy an
excuse
excuse. I'm just
stupidity,
saying
bro.
what
Literally sounds
happened
like an
and how
excuse.
these guys got the occupancy.
Yo,
I'm not.
Come
I'm
on,
not
bro.
defending the landlord. I don't have empty
That's not
units,
an
guys.
excuse, bro. That's not an excuse.
I'm not Trump. I don't have empty units.
These 50-year-old
either
guys
rented
don't
or
know about
sold.
the internets. Like, what the fuck? Nah, they know, bro. They know. It's like is, but yeah, those certain things. I guess you're right. Like the nuances of being a landlord, it's not like everybody knows. It's people think it's just like you buy the house, you fix it up, you rent it out, you collect money, and you're good. Nah, man.
No.
Yeah, it's not like
There's
that.
a lot of little things that you got to
Bro.
keep aware of, man.
The story I said last week was my first tenant that I put in, and that one, bro, I didn't do the proper background checks, and they ate me in the ass. Screwed me over.
You ate your ass.
I was gonna
It
say
screwed
that.
me over, guys.
Yo, you like that?
For not doing the proper background checks.
Damn.
I'm just saying.
Damn. I mean,
None of the proper background check.
Novice
You-
mistake.
but even doing background checks, even doing a proper background check, doesn't mean you're gonna land this, rainbows and cupcakes.
It
for
doesn't
the tenant.
guarantee it.
Nah.
But in my
nothing
situation, if
guaranteed.
I would have done the
Nothing
proper
guaranteed.
background checks, I would have seen the 7 evictions.
Okay, and if
7
let's just say-
evictions.
wow,
What the fuck?
That's what I'm
Jesus
saying.
Christ.
7 evictions, bro.
The lady got lucky, bro. I'm just saying, if I would have done
That's-
the proper background checks, I would have seen the fucking 7 evictions.
That's 7 landlords that didn't see that shit.
And now it's going to be an 8.
That's 7 dumbass landlords who didn't do background checks. This bitch is lucky, man. This bitch is.
Oh
What?
my God.
Oh shit, bro. She
You
got,
can't-
That's why
you can't
I'm
even blame her at
screaming.
this point.
I'm screaming it
for
out
real.
there. Everyone, do your background checks. It is what it is. Pay
Yeah,
the
don't be
$40.
greedy.
It's worth every penny.
yeah. There's some
Unless you're
landlords.
homeless,
There's some landlords that are stingy. They're like, oh, I don't want to pay the $40 to do it. Nah, bro.
It's worth it.
You're gonna
Just
save
do it.
yourself. You might save yourself a headache if you just do it, bro. Just fucking do it. You never know what might pop up. You just never
And
know.
now imagine
Wait,
you
wait,
get the
Jose,
perfect tenant
Jose.
and they still
You was
they still
telling
don't
me
pay.
some shit about National Grid last week. You said some shit about National Grid when I mentioned the utility company evicting her ass. Come on, Jose.
Okay.
Spill the beans. What did National
All
Grid
right.
do
I
to
think
you?
that's a different. I think that's like for like a next episode type of shit. It's like
Oh,
it's
you
not the
want
same
to?
story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Don't
a
do that.
story, bro.
That's a story. Don't do that now.
That's a story. If y'all want to know about the National Grid story, bro,
Wait.
yeah,
In
you're gonna
what
have to tune
context is
in next
National
time.
Grid in your situation? Are they the light
What?
bill or the gas bill?
I mean, National Grid is both. In my
They
situation,
do
they're the
both
electric
depending on
bill.
the situation.
Yeah,
The
but
electric bill.
I
All right.
have, yeah, the property I have is all electric. Yeah, I have two
Oh,
properties. They're all electric. One of the other properties is gas as well. But yeah,
okay. No, I just want to know the context of National Grid.
yeah. I got you on the next one. That story is good. It's like there's a
Don't give too much. Don't give too much.
mm,
Don't do it.
It's a
Don't do it.
doozy. It's a doozy.
it's a good story, bro. It's
You're
a good
drinking
story.
too
It's a
much
good landlord
already.
story. Next week definitely gonna unleash that one, yo. Unleash that one.
It better be. I
But
mean, it sounds like
The
it's good though,
beast.
so we'll see.
it's good, man. It's oh, man. The fucking stress that landlords go through, bro. And
No,
I
but you
just
know
did.
what's crazy? I was going through when I found that video, I was going through some of the comments, and some of the comments were basically saying, like, yeah, he deserves it. Yeah, it is what it is, like fuck this guy. And then you see reply comments like, what do you mean he
Why?
deserves it? And the answer was because he's a landlord. That's
Wow.
literally why.
Wow.
Doesn't matter if he's a good guy, bad guy, it's because he's a landlord. I wasn't wow. I was like, wow, okay.
People have this misconception that, or at least they have this viewpoint that landlords are like
Assholes.
leeches, right? Like, oh, you're just living off of other people's income. Like you can't afford this house, so you get other people to pay it for you. And it's like that's literally every business model on the
Correct.
fucking planet, bro.
This one, the one next to me, he went to this is in Brockton. He went to get a certificate of occupancy. He was renovating a unit, and the lady was like, "Remember that shit? Oh, we're not here to what the housing lady was like. We're not here to pay your mortgage."
Yeah,
Bro.
She did say that.
Yes,
and
you are.
And then I'm like, that's literally why you're here.
That's like me going into Domino's, ordering 12 pizzas, and be like, I'm not paying your fucking rent, bro. Yes, you are. Yes,
That's
you
literally
are.
why
I'm
you're buying
making
the
these
pizza.
I'm making these pizzas to pay bills. I'm not doing this shit for free. Like
people
what?
People have this mentality that they believe that landlords just own this properties, cash out.
Cash out,
Just
yeah.
all
Silver
just all
spoon.
cash. And basically that we're there to provide shelter. That's it.
For free.
That's what we're there for free.
Yeah.
For free.
For free.
For free.
Yeah.
No, it's a bit. We're renting out space. We're renting out space for you to live in. Just like Stop and Shop sells you food for you to survive. We sell you space for you to live.
This is the issue, guys. This is the issue. What people don't understand, bro. There were sacrifices that we took, shit that we want to buy that we did not buy, to save up money for the down payment to start this investment business. It wasn't. It wasn't a silver spoon that fell out of the sky. Sorry, guys. At least for me, it took a lot of shit that I wanted to do and not do just to save money so I can buy my investment properties.
And I feel bad for this generation of new landlords coming in, because I feel like because of the interest rates and how high the cost of buying a property is, they'll be lucky to break even on a lot of these mortgages, right? So now you have a whole generation of landlords coming in. They're not profiting. I can tell you that. Like, if you are, it's like the margins are so low that you're really just doing this as a retirement vehicle for the future. We're talking like
open interest rates go down.
Like 15, 30 years. This is like really right now the model for landlords entering the market is like you're not gonna really make a lot of money for like the next 5 years.
It's a way to park your money.
If your interest rate, let's say example, your interest rate is on the 3.5, and let's say it was $2,000 a month. Once that interest rate hits 7.99, it's $4,800 a month. It doubles your mortgage. Get the mortgage payment.
4,000.
And remember, guys,
if you're renting out a unit for 2 G's and you got 2 units, you're breaking even.
You're breaking even. No, you're not even breaking even. Because let's say you have
Utilities.
separate water meters, you're paying
Yeah.
the water bill, and you're
Yup.
still paying taxes and insurance. And insurance is going up because insurance companies do not want to insure properties anymore.
And let's not forget, when some shit just breaks, the sink falls, the refrigerator break, you gotta fix that shit. Your margins are so small. You're literally you're waiting for 5-10 years before you can be like, all right, I'm making money now. It's
You're pretty
paying off.
much you're making enough to either break even or pay a little bit out of pocket in your mortgage to wait 30 years until the mortgage paid off to sell the property to get your money back. That's the only way I see it.
It's actually not worth it if you can't ride the wave.
Yeah.
I've said this before. If you're buying properties at such a high interest rate, the only way that it makes sense is if you are able to sustain and you are able to hold the way, hold for the ride. Because if you can't, one wrong move, you are fucked. Just one wrong move, you are fucked.
It's tough because 2017, 2018, 19, you could buy a property with a 2-family house, and then one of the units can cover the mortgage. The other unit, you making some change. You know what I mean? It's not crazy, but it's $1,000, $1,500, something like that. Now, shit.
The prime to buy was literally 2012.
2012.
2012 was when the market hit the lowest point. It started recharging back up after 2012, like 2013, 2015.
Now again, I'm not saying it's not a good time. Let me rephrase this. I'm not saying it's not a good time. It's not a good time to buy right now. It's not a good time for everybody to buy right now. It's still a good time to buy, but not for everybody. Let's just make that very, very clear. If you want to buy now, you have to be able to ride the wave. You have to have some cash on hand, and you have to be prepared in the event that you're buying at a high interest rate. And you are going to make money when the rates go back down and you refinance. You're going to make crazy money, but you have to be able to hold it until you can do that. If you can't hold it at a high rate, it's not going to work.
The problem is people have this misconception. Oh, I'm a time to market. Right now it's not good because everything's so high. I remember I bought a house, a 3-family in 2014, in late 2014. And when I bought the house, it was like 500 grand.
It
was in Murder Pan. Murder Pan. So I bought it for about 500 grand in Murder Pan. And people saying, no, that's way too high for a house. 500 grand. That same house I sold 3 years later for 780 grand.
Yeah. Yep. I
you
believe
cannot
it.
time a market, bro. If you run your numbers, you run how much you can get in rent, how much your expenses are. And then what you do on the mortgage side, you calculate, all right, the interest rate at 7.9 or 7.5. I believe conservatively that the good point when the rates go down will be around the 5. So let me run the numbers at 5, and as the current rate, when the rates go down to 5, I'll refinance, and this is how much it is. That's the way it works.
I don't think it'll go any lower than 4.
5. I don't see it going lower than 5.
I think if you have if you have an 800 credit score, which is a bitch to get, but if you got an 800, I can see you going as low as 4.75.
With Biden's law, the higher your credit score, the more penalized you are.
How so?
Remember
what you
that?
talking about?
He passed that shit 2 years ago.
Who the fuck you? What are you talking about, bro?
Yeah, I heard about that.
Y'all know what I'm talking about.
But I don't know enough about it to have a comment on it. Therefore, I don't want to mention it.
You get penalized if your credit score is over like 720. Because they're saying that people with high credit score have financial advantage versus people who have a lower credit score.
Yeah. I don't know about that.
People who are broke have low credit scores, and people who are rich have high credit scores. So we're going to penalize the high credit score people. Even though you can be broke with a high credit score. Because the credit score doesn't say how much money you make. It just says that you pay on time.
Correct.
Pay on time and then the ratio, right? The debt to income ratio.
You don't have to be high income to have an 800 credit score. As long as you have a few credit cards, you pay on time, and you keep it below 30% debt to credit ratio, you have an 800 credit score. It doesn't matter how much income you have. You can have only $5,000 worth of credit. But if your $5,000 worth of credit is below 30% on the debt to credit ratio, you will have a higher credit score.
And you have to have I think it's about minimum of 8 years of credit.
Yeah. And then they also look at like the laws, like when they hit your
Jose's
credit
like,
score.
God
I'm just
damn it, I
saying,
could have got this here years ago.
but you can have a high credit score with low
It's
income.
crazy. Yeah.
Income does not say what credit score you have. The only thing the credit score says, can I trust this dude with cash? Yeah, he's gonna pay us back. Yeah, I can give this guy a loan. That's all it is.
Look, all I know is that homeboy is probably still either in the van right now. He had to the end of the story for that. He most likely he had to foreclose. I think, in my personal opinion, 12 months he foreclosed.
Eating ramen noodles.
He I don't know if he got any cash back. Probably not. The bank had to, repossess that house. I don't know if maybe the tenant still stayed up in that bitch with the bank.
He's a super host right now.
Yeah, for real. And homeboy right now is just trying to recover. He probably finished up like pilot school, whatever he was doing. And I think in that situation,
you know what I can guarantee?
I would not fly.
You know what I guarantee?
That he's flying. That's for sure.
No.
You know what I guarantee? That guy, he's not going to be a real estate investor. I can guarantee he's not going to be a real estate investor.
I would not fly in that plane, bro.
Ain't no one flying that plane. I'm like, hold up, who's flying this? Nah, man, nah. I'm missing my flight. Fuck that shit, bro. This dude's fighting demons every time he's up there.
Yeah, he's been through a lot, yo. Never mind.
He's fighting demons. He getting PTSD right now. You knock on the door, he's like, oh. Nah, man, nah. That dude's I wouldn't fly with that dude. But best of luck to him, and best of luck to that tenant who's obviously. Winning. I hope I never meet a tenant like that.
I think that tenant, he bought the house when it foreclosed. He bought it from the bank.
Bro, I would lose it.
That is the nail in the coffin, bro. That's the ultimate blow, bro.
He bought in the foreclosure process.
That's fatality right there, yo.
You know what that reminds me of? It reminds me of HOAs that sell your property. I think we should talk about that. Next week. They foreclose on your property. They take that shit, right? They fucking give you $50,000 worth of fines. They sell your property for $2 to someone in the HOA, and then they flip that bitch for $500,000, and then you still owe the bitch 50 grand. That shit's wild, bro.
That's a good episode.
I have a story. They say that shit for next week. I have a story on one of those when I was a trustee at my condominium.
Listen, you better keep track. Right now we're like 7 episodes for next week. So
when we do the HOA one, eventually when we do the HOA one, when we do the HOA ones, I'll tell you what happened, bro. It's fucking crazy.
Okay,
I can't.
We'll be looking for that.
I'd be scared of HOAs, but
it's not bad.
Yeah, man.
But that's pros and cons, and we'll definitely revisit that.
Yeah. I mean, of course, there's bound to be
again. We can discuss that.
Yeah.
One of these episodes. I think might be next week.
Maybe next week. Maybe we'll see. We'll see. But let us know what y'all think about this video. What would y'all do in this situation? Posting up in your minivan outside outside your house, talking to the fucking. You got the tenant just looking outside the blind. Is like he really got fucking News 25 out there, and he's sitting on the fucking. Oh man, this dude's so pathetic.
Meanwhile, I got my check-in coming in at 4 p.m.
Like, where's my money, bitch? Nah, man. Let us know what y'all would do. It. Any landlords out there, give us your opinion. Have you been through this shit? Probably. You ain't a real landlord if you haven't done this shit before. Let us know. Like, subscribe, drop a comment. If you want to hear some more stories, tune in next week. Next Friday, we got a bunch of stories for y'all.
Apparently.
Love y'all. Happy weekend. This is the Man Cave. We out, son. Oh.
Have a good one.